Okay. Right, mate. Okay. Ready? Up. Yep. Gets it up. Use your feet. Use your feet.
You got me?
Yep. Up. Use your legs, mate. Use your legs.
I'm trying, I can't.
Use your legs.
I can't.
That's it.
We head further along what used to be the inland sea. We're heading to the Diamantina.
Wow, here's a flock of red-tailed black cockatoos. Aboriginal legend has it that fire first came from the red tail of these black cockies.
It seems more and more likely that birds are among the closest living relatives of dinosaurs, possibly direct descendants.
In fact, some paleontologists are starting to think about whether some dinosaurs actually had feathers that evolved for warmth rather than flight.
That's not so far-fetched. The same substance that makes up the scales of reptiles is found in the feathers of birds.
It's fascinating to think that birds are the dinosaurs that did not die. When you arrive at the Diamantina Gate, the sign tells you in no uncertain terms that you must be well prepared to travel through. In this country, if you make a mistake, you're dead.
These mesas stand silent watch over an ever-changing land. It's an unforgiving part of the world, but it's worth the effort to see the strange formations left behind by the receding inland sea of an age long gone. We've decided to investigate the more inaccessible mesas. Most fossils are found in riverbeds or along rock outcroppings, anywhere rock has been washed away or exposed. Exploring these mountains is going to be difficult, but Steve loves a challenge.
Well, this looks like about the spot. So as I go up, just move out of the way because there could be a few rocks coming down.
Okay. Careful. This part really makes me angry. Steve never listens to me. We've come up nearly 100 meters of grueling climb. He's got about 30 meters to go, and it's getting too risky. But the guy's focused. He won't listen to me, and he's determined to finish the climb. Then I realize there comes a point where you're committed. Steve's either going to have to finish the climb, or it's a one-way trip down.
At this point, reality struck home. I'd almost bitten off more than I could chew. Far too hairy a climb.
I'm just gonna go around the side here and meet you down here.
While I took the safer path around the base of the hill, Steve checked out the top for any evidence of dinosaurs.
The view is certainly worth the climb. I'm looking down at what once was the inland sea from the best vantage point for hundreds of kilometers.
It's only from above that you can truly appreciate what happened here millions of years ago. You can see where the sea contracted into a series of lakes and rivers, and then where it shrank even further to smaller streams and waterholes. This stretch of permanent water is a haven for all kinds of life, even a few seabirds to remind us that this was once itself a sea.
In the dry season, this is one of the biggest remaining stretches of the Diamantina River. It's evaporated down to a landlocked billabong only a few kilometres long.
The rocks that are scattered right through the region are dangerously close to the bottom of the boat. So the only way ashore is to shut down and walk to a hidden gallery of Aboriginal rock carvings. Wow, this is great.
The thing that I find so interesting about this Aboriginal rock carvings is that it's easy to see what it is. This is an emu's footprint carved into the rock. See that big free toes there? We go back a bit. Here's some kangaroo footprints. They start down here. Kangaroo, two-legged animal. Hop, 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 all the way up the rock. Up here's another beauty. This one's really, really obvious. If you have a look at this one here, I'm not sure. It's only a little one. It's three-toed. Perhaps it's a small bird. Hey, maybe it's even a dinosaur footprint. This is perfect. Out here in this pristine environment, we've got the classic scenario that we've been searching for. What we've got in here, we've got mummified macropods. Crikey, who knows how long they've been in here. They've been cooked by who knows how many summers. They are stiff as a board, and these are going to be preserved for a long, long time. And this is just how fossils were formed. The cave fills up or collapses, and then these are fossilised. They're trapped in time. Absolute classic.
It's exciting to think that someday someone may come along and rediscover these animals. They might even get to be the dinosaurs of the future. It was here that Steve was up to his climbing tricks again.
Hey, Terry, there's some great Aboriginal paintings in here.
How on earth did you get in there?
It's very difficult. I only just fit.
Is there a back thingo to it?
No, this is it. Straight forward in here. Have a look right there.
Brother.
See the yellow and the big red one there?
Yeah, how'd anybody get in here?
I don't know. They must have done this, though. They must have crawled up through the front.
Water is the life link for both dinosaurs and modern-age man. There's only fossilised evidence of dinosaurs, but graphic evidence of man.
What we've got here is a massive cave etched into the escarpment. Huge body of water down there, which has never dried up in the history of mankind. Very colourful rock art. It's the most spectacular rock art I've seen. All those whites, the red, the yellows, the water holes. Have a look at these ones. Here's one of the crosses again. The red, like a serpent painting. More art here. Almost a snake-like structure through there. The red. This is a classic. I'm not sure what it depicts, but you can see those lines coming out like a heap of legs. Little white wiggly thing at the end. A huge gallery of rock art. Must have taken them a long time to do it.
Coming up next, one of the world's greatest dinosaur discoveries.
This stark landscape was the bottom of what was once a huge inland sea.
Which is probably why finding dinosaur evidence is so difficult here in Australia. Because of the large amount of water, dinosaurs often sunk to the bottom of the sea and were buried under millions of years of mud and silt.
If only we could unlock the secrets that are contained underneath this earth.
We've arrived at Lark Quarry, one of the world's most important dinosaur sites, now protected from the elements by a steel building.
It's the world's only known dinosaur stampede, a network of ancient dinosaur footprints, from little ones the size of chooks right up to some of the biggest carnivores that ever lived on the continent. This is one of Australia's large meat-eating dinosaurs, going back about 100 million years.
This area was first discovered in the 1960s by 3 opal miners. At that time period, mining was done by hand, not machine, so the area was well preserved. About 10 years later, the Queensland Museum went ahead and preserved the area for the public, and now we can all enjoy the highest concentration of dinosaur fossilized footprints in the world.
What we have here is right out there was a huge big lake and about 300 little dinosaurs ranging from about a chook up to an ostrich size. They were grazing out on that lake. A large carnosaur, a large meat-eating dinosaur, came in and tried to trap them to eat them. And they fled. They stampeded up towards the hill there on a muddy bank. And as they got scared and they fled, whammo, grabbing them and eating them.
Conditions had to be absolutely perfect in order to preserve these footprints. After they were made, the area went through a long dry period, and the mud turned into like concrete. Then the floods came in, the silt covered the area, and then rock began to form. We've got layers of sandstone above the footprints, and this has been preserved this way for about 100 million years.
And now that we've exposed it, it is open to the elements. And perhaps in several hundred years, it could deteriorate if it's left as it is. What we've got here is the perfect depiction of a dinosaur stampede, which concretes the evidence of dinosaurs in this country. We have to preserve it.
Thousands of kilometers from the Sunshine Coast and our home at the Queensland Reptile Park, our search still continues.
Lark Quarry was a remarkable discovery, and in this area there's much more just waiting to be found. We're now going to see what we can find for ourselves.
The harshness of this land doesn't support much in the way of traditional wildlife that we're used to, but this little guy lives out here just fine. This is actually a native cockroach. He's native to Australia, unlike a lot of our cockroaches which have come from other countries, and he's having a little snack on this wood here. Cockroaches are fascinating because they were here long before man, and they'll probably be here long after we're gone.
Cockroaches are great, but to tell you the truth, I've got dinosaur fever, and I'm hoping for something a little bit more spectacular, so it's back to the top of the messes for another look.
Oh my God, are you okay?
I think so.
As it turned out, that bad luck on the slippery slope was a bit of good luck at the bottom. We would later discover that we had literally stumbled into a fossil field.
People have walked past hundreds of rocks and have never recognized them as fossils or dinosaur evidence. This is exactly what we've been looking for. This is the evidence of the dinosaurs that we've been chasing. Perfect, perfect. You can see these footprints. Look at the size of that toe there. And look at these ones.
Yeah, just, you want to just hand me that one right there? If you'll notice with these footprints from the side, you can see they're raised. So what had actually happened is when the animal stepped down and left a footprint in the mud, the silt filled in over the top, hardened into rock, and finally broke away. And now we have the opposite of a footprint, a raised imprint in the rocks. So while the footprint is like the negative, this is like a mold, or the other side. As it's a raised footprint, this one is also raised, and you can even see some toes here. There were other footprints formed which is broken off. So again, this is the opposite of what you get from the indentation. It's lifted off and has been found here.
You can see prints there, there. Here's a toe mark there. You can virtually see the pads, like the fingerprint. You can imagine the thumbprint is almost obvious in that toe there. And there's another toe there, probably came running through here.
We were thrilled to have finally been rewarded for all our searching. The fossils and those remarkable footprints in petrified sand have given scientists a few meager clues as to how Australia's unusual wildlife evolved and what it was like here 100 million years ago.
And so very little is known for sure. Even if they find 100 lark quarries and the bones of 1,000 extinct giants, all we can ever do is make educated guesses at what really went on when dinosaurs roamed down under.
Animals have dominated this planet for hundreds of millions of years.
And yet man has only been here for about 1 million years and is already the dominant species.
It's up to us to protect and preserve the wildlife that we still have.
So that future generations are not left with only footprints.